Hey everyone, welcome back to Holy Devoted. We have a special guest today, my very own brother and my only brother, Timmy P.
Thanks. That was good.
Thank you so much.
I didn't know how you were going to intro. I was a little scared there, so I'm thankful that you did it that way.
Could have said other
Could have
things.
said a lot of things. Could have said a lot of things.
But you set that guard over our mouths. Listen to that episode.
Yeah, our last one.
Our last one, yeah, honestly. So today we're talking about modesty, but before we jump into it, I want to thank our sponsors, Teen Missions International. They take teenagers on mission trips. So if you're interested in spending your summer break serving the Lord or spring break or being a leader for one of those trips, you can check out the 2026 teams at teenmissions.org.
All right, the fun question for today is, if you were a food, what would you be?
Ooh.
Is that because my first instant answer that popped in my head was an accumulation of foods? So am I thinking like
What is it?
a mom made dish like growing up, or like something you make at home, or
I don't
am I
know.
thinking of a
If you're like
singular ingredient?
your personality in a food.
Oh,
So if you're a single ingredient personality, then sure.
is it safe to say that we're the foods that we like, the foods that we are closest to?
I don't
he's
think
gonna
so.
say
This is
sandwich.
such an analytical.
Just
I
give
don't
an
think
answer,
so.
bud.
Because like
He's
I'm trying to think
overthinking.
like maybe we all like Chinese food, but that doesn't fit us. That's not right.
Yeah, definitely not.
Cultural appropriation.
Definitely not. Okay.
I think. Oh yeah, go ahead.
What are you?
He's the guest.
Am I going first?
What's your
Yeah.
answer?
It's the only respective we're gonna hear from
Sorry,
her.
with my eye roll loud. That's my bad.
Any other guest, Faith would be like, please let the guest go first. And this one, she's like,
Are you done?
yeah.
All right, so Tim is not only Faith's brother, but also my husband. So
That's why we see them
just
together.
wanted to shout that out.
Yeah.
In case you missed that.
A real winner right here.
Which, yeah, just go ahead. What's your answer?
I was gonna say sandwich, but I don't know.
Did
Like
I
I
called
actually
it.
think it
I'm
does
the
suit
lose
you.
to
there's
me.
Like, it's your
varieties of
food.
sandwiches, and then there's many toppings that go on it, and I don't know.
What sandwich are you?
Yeah,
Like, there's
Which
a lot of variety.
specific? What sandwich are you? Like a pub
Like
sub?
maybe
or-
like a turkey club.
Yeah, I was gonna say
literally
turkey
knew
club.
it.
That's what
Maybe
I
like
was
a turkey
thinking.
club.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
with the
All right.
fries, that have the like Cajun seasoning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
as long as it's well priced, like it's not too much cost. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I think, I don't know why this is the first thing that I thought of. Pineapple.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why,
Okay.
but
All of our reactions were so like,
you're hoping. I think, okay, it's just a mixture of like, can it be sweet? Sometimes. Sometimes it hurt? Yes. I think sometimes my personality is a little abrasive. On occasions, I'm going to be honest. And we're hoping for the best. We're hoping it's going to be sweet, but you really never know what you're going to get. Yeah.
Ellie, you want to go next?
I can't. Okay, I'll tell you what's in my mind, and I
Okay.
can't get it out of my head. Is lasagna, but I don't know if that's accurate.
What
Which
did your
is
husband
crazy
say?
because you're allergic to dairy and it's like
yeah,
all
I can't
cheese.
even eat it, but I love lasagna. But like, I can't even eat it.
Good though. So yummy.
Go ahead.
I should know this. I'm pretty sure I know. You don't have any Italian like heritage, do you?
No, I know
Okay.
that's what I was thinking too, Tim. But
But
Lasagna.
yeah,
I don't feel
know.
like lasagna is Italian. That's probably like an American thing,
No,
right?
it's definitely
Oh,
Italian.
it's Italian.
My
Guys,
friends.
I feel like Americans make a lot of Italian foods sometimes.
It's an Italian food.
But like, would you find lasagna in Italy?
I ate lasagna in Italy.
Was it good?
It was like the type you buy at the store, so it was good. But
I
it
feel
wasn't.
like you
I'm saying
just
like it
heard
wasn't like
Italians.
authentic lasagna. It was like what we would buy like at the store, like in a container.
Have you talked about your trip on the show?
No.
Or no? Okay.
Yeah.
Was Italian food that you had, like as you were eating it, you were like, in America it would be this, it would be
Mhm.
this
Yeah,
type of
it's
way,
different.
and it messed
Yeah.
your head up when you were eating it,
Yeah,
or
I felt really dumb. We ordered spaghetti, and
Mm.
I was like reading the menu, and I was like, why would you put seafood with spaghetti? Like that sounds so icky to me. Dumb American, so dumb. Still feel dumb. Spaghetti is just the term
The
for the shape of
noodle.
the noodle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no? So it's the
So you
singular
would get
like.
spaghetti with a
so
different
you
type of
get-
sauce.
Yes, yes. So I
Marinara.
kept thinking like
Interesting.
all of this like with tomato sauce, and I'm like, whoa.
She's like meatballs and shrimp.
So I was afraid. I was afraid. Yeah, no, I literally ordered the most boring thing in the world because I was like, how's this all mixing with tomato? I don't. And then it came, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was so like, that's such an American
I would do
thing.
the same thing. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to
Me too.
match
All
the
right. So you
complexity.
live, you learn.
Oh, wait, did you say your food?
Emma, what are you?
Yeah.
Oh, me. I'm really struggling to come up with something. what I thought of was froyo. It's fun, not overly sweet. It can be sweet, but a bunch of different toppings, kind of chaotic. You never know what you're gonna get.
You guys really put it to what you think of your like self/personality with like talking about how you can be sweet or you can be abrasive, which I don't feel like that is.
I feel like you're so sweet, Faith.
Well, I was about to say, I think you guys are all great people, but you guys were all thinking of the negative things that you bring to the table.
I don't think
And then you
lasagna is
thought of,
negative
like-
at all. I love lasagna.
Well,
I feel like
yeah,
also
you
like
do.
froyo is like
Pineapple.
fun though, like
Yeah.
fun,
You're definitely
outgoing.
Yeah, that matches.
All right.
That matches.
Also, pineapple gives like tropics, outdoors.
That's
Yeah.
true. I didn't think about the
Vibes.
outdoor vibe, but also like frozen yogurt's kind of healthy, which is kind of like the outdoor vibe. We never introduced the topic. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. We're here to talk about modesty from a dude's perspective. Present
Woohoo.
Timothy Petersen,
The dude.
the dude, his perspectives. You excited?
Yeah, they don't know this, but like we've obviously talked about it a lot at work or like in fellowship and stuff. So I think it is fun to like put it in front of people and see what they think too. But yeah, I think we all four feel very differently about modesty. I mean, maybe not very different, but we all have our different perspectives, and so I think it's gonna be fun to compare them and see where we fall. But
Yes. Well, just know that you are currently right now. You're sitting in the chair to represent all of Christian men. So
It's a
literally
lot of-
ever
it's a
in
lot
all of
of pressure.
history, in the whole world, everything.
For the future, however
So-
long this is on the
a
internet.
lot
Carry
of,
that.
a lot of pressure on my sunburnt shoulders right now. But
Yes.
I'll take
Literally.
Literally.
I'll take it.
Okay, the Bible says in 1 Samuel 16:7, "For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." What does this verse tell us about where modesty really begins?
I think obviously the verse is pretty clear about it being from the heart, but I immediately thought of the idea that all the attributes that God talks about in scripture or that these authors are writing about, a lot of them are like connected. And so I think this topic, when we're talking about modesty and we're talking about the heart, the modesty or the way that we view modesty can be altered by different things that are connected to it. So like our different perspectives on how we view, I don't know. I know we're talking about like the physical appearance, but even how we view what's okay to listen to for music or what we view like for movies and TV shows, like we can let those things affect how we do modesty or how we like live out that area of our life. And so it obviously all leads to the heart, but there's like I think there's smaller steps or what can seem like smaller steps to get to the point where you're either immodest and not glorifying God, or maybe you're doing really well with it and it's like you resist the temptation that the devil throws your way or whatever it is, and you're doing well in your walk with modesty and your heart's in the right place. But I don't know. I feel like I've been in my testimony or in my past, I've felt both sides of where I was doing well with that, or making sure that I was taking in the right things and letting things impact me positively rather than negatively. But I don't know. That's just my thought on it.
I think it's interesting, like the way that you tied in like other media, I guess, because I've in my brain they're like categorized separately, but to think about if you're looking at modesty as a heart posture, you can be immodest in the sense of what you're taking in and what you're listening to, and also those things do impact the way that you act and also desensitizing you to those convictions. So I'd say like Western culture is a lot more desensitized and therefore compared to like the rest of the world, super immodest. Just because our standards have been way lowered because of the things that we take in without even realizing how it impacts us. So I think that was an interesting way to view that.
Yeah, and that also reminds me of the Bible verse where it talks about like the Pharisees who clean the outside of the cup and dish. And then Jesus says, like, you should wash the inside of the cup first because then the outside will also be clean. Like, if you physically wash a cup and you literally see that example played out, like, you wash the inside of the cup because it's got nasty crud in there. But then the outside also, like, the water and the soap will naturally overflow over the edges of your cup. Like, still you should wipe it, like, scrub it a little bit. But, like, also the inside is where food is contained, you know? And so, like, in our lives, kind of like you're saying, what we are putting in, like, what we're taking into our hearts is, like, that overflows naturally to the outside. So, like, if you're only trying to take care of your outward appearance, both to like people and then like your outfits or whatever, like the way that you present yourself, if you're thinking that that's the most important, like you're missing the whole point. The inside of your cup's going to be dirty and the outside's going to be clean, but that doesn't even matter because like who would want to drink out of a cup that's dirty on the inside? Like no one.
True. Yeah, I also think it's interesting because it talks about how God, what does it say? It compares the two. Men look at the outside appearance, God looks at the heart. And I think that modesty is one of the areas that, like, especially for women, and this has just been my experience, I don't know other people's, but like it is very common, like considered, I think, like a free pass to gossip or like slander other people based on whether or not they're meeting your personal standards.
Yeah.
And that's such a like judgmental, like I'm only looking at that person's outward appearance. I can't see their heart and why they're wearing that or why they didn't feel convicted to wear that or whatever else. Sure. And so I think that verse is a good reminder in the discussion of modesty because it's so personal to everyone's standards. Then it's everyone's like, well, why doesn't she have my standards? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's like a frequent conversation I hear within Christianity. Like, did you see so-and-so, like what they were wearing? And I don't think that's honoring to God. Even if what she was wearing wasn't honoring to God, it's also not honoring to God to dissect it.
Yeah, two negatives do not make a positive.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I was thinking when Faith was talking, and then Ellie, you mentioned the cup thing. It brought up Luke 6:45. I'm reading from the NIV, but a good man brings out good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. And so, yeah, it's talk. I mean, there it brings up how like the mouth is speaking, but I think we can say that would probably also apply to what we wear and how we conduct ourselves. And it's the same topic. And when Paul talks about like faith without works is dead, and you can't have one without the other. Like God's looking for both, and both are needed. And it's the same with this. Like just because outwardly it looks like you're doing well, or whatever the example is of a positive conduct, and your heart's not right, then you're just a hypocrite, and vice versa. So yeah, I think it's definitely a good way to look at it. Like make sure your heart's good, and then out from that, your heart will flow to the outside, and you'll kind of be able to show everyone like the work that God's doing in your life, and you'll be a positive testimony.
It also made me think of in the Minor Prophets, I think it's Zechariah, could be wrong, where it's talking about the vision of Joshua being before God and he's wearing filthy clothes, and like the people come, or the angels come. I'm gonna mess this up. Sorry, that was maybe heresy. Anyways, I can't remember, but they're like, he's not properly dressed to be before the king. He's not wearing the right clothes. And then Jesus is like, it's okay. I'll clothe you with robes of righteousness. So like even the way that God views your heart, if you want to look at it from a human perspective, how we relate that to our lives, like your heart can be immodestly dressed. Like unrighteousness and sin is immodest in the eyes of the Lord. And praise God that he's provided a way to clothe you. Yeah, to clothe you with things so that we're able to be in the presence of God and be in fellowship with him. And we talked about it in the last episode too. Just all the passages that talk about walking in a manner that's worthy of the gospel. Like you shouldn't be walking around immodest in your heart or an outward appearance when he's clothed you with righteousness. He's made you modest. He's made you clean. So don't be living your life in a way that you're not being appropriate.
Consistent with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Or like if we look at our salvation, like we are not the ones who are able to properly, like we're wearing Jesus' righteousness as our own. Like we can't, we can never make our own heart righteous. Like we have to admit that like Jesus is the one that clothes us in righteousness. You can't clothe yourself with righteousness.
The next question says, how do we balance the human desire to be seen and valued in light of Galatians 1:10, which says, for am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I was still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. Ouchie.
Okay, wait, listen, because this just came to my mind. Have you guys ever heard of the horseshoe effect? I was just talking about this with someone. Where basically, like, you're trying so hard to get away from being this that you swing all the way over here to the like opposite spectrum, but they both end up being like right
In the
next to each
same
other.
place.
I feel like modesty is the perfect example of this because as women, it's so easy to seek the approval of men. And like that's something that you see like in television, in music, like it's a good thing to be desired, you know,
Yeah.
like physically. So then that's a temptation. And so it's, you know, you desire to dress immodestly. So then it's easy though to swing the total opposite, but still end up close. And that you're worried about what other people are going to think and you're trying to please people who maybe have stricter modesty standards or whatever
Yeah.
else. Like, what are people going to think of me at church if I wear this because it's not, is it, you know, modest enough? Well, then in both cases, you're just trying to people please and you're not actually concerned about what God thinks. And I think either
Yeah.
one of those is wrong. And then you end up like literally right next to each other, just with slightly different results of actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing about the horseshoe is too that like as you're in the process of, I don't know, going all the way around, like, yeah, if you go all the way to the other end, I don't know how you're supposed to, you can't reach, the horseshoe doesn't connect any other way. So if you're running away, you're getting away from those types of people as well. The modesty thing, or if people think that someone's immodest, I think they quickly just assume that they're immodest in their eyes, that they're immodest because they're like attention seeking or they want, you know, I don't know, a certain boy, and that boy, I don't know, it's like in some way working or they're getting a relationship out of it, whatever. But yeah, sometimes it's just like you said, like the conviction it's a customized conviction at times. And I think the thing that's interesting with, you know, with someone that's assuming where the person is coming out of is like they haven't talked to them and they haven't really truly investigated to see like, okay, is this person knowledgeable in the things of God, and you know, they don't ask the right questions. And so it's just really hard. It's really hard on the church when people are so strict about assuming, you know, that this person is just walking around just to, you know, seek attention and stuff. If that's the case, that they are seeking attention, like obviously we need to confront that with love and with grace, because ultimately if they're seeking attention from someone that, you know, I don't know how to word that, but like appreciates that type of thing, they're ultimately at the end not going to want, really in reality, they don't want that person because that person's not going to be honoring or glorifying. I don't know. It's a tricky topic, but I don't know, just assuming right off the bat the worst of people is just not right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think too, we talked about it on our identity episode, which I think was a really long time
That was a
ago.
long time ago. I wasn't
I
even
think what?
Your identity episode, I wasn't here.
Oh my goodness.
I think I might have been on my honeymoon, so that was like 2 years ago.
No way, was it that long ago?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Well, I don't really remember what we talked about, but it was a while ago. But I will say, like, when it comes to balancing the desire to be seen and valued, you have to remember where your value actually comes from, and that's from the eyes of the Lord. So,
Shout out.
yeah.
God loves you.
So, yeah, like, your worth is not in the way that people view you. And like Tim was saying, if people are valuing you for your outward appearance, tough, because guess what? It's going to change. You're not going to look like that forever.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to wear stuff like that
True.
forever. It's not always going to be attractive. Then
They don't have the right end goal in mind.
Yeah.
You don't, they don't. It's just a bad.
And that's on
It's a
either
bad
way of the
combination.
spectrum. Like,
Yeah.
if you're trying to people please with what you're wearing, whether it's hyper modesty or hyper immodesty, neither one is pleasing to God.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you're wearing, like if you're putting it on because you're trying to please other people, tough luck.
End up in the same spot.
You end up
And I also
not
think,
glorifying God.
yeah, it made me think of the verse in Proverbs 31 that talks about God clothing you with strength and dignity. Those are the qualities at the end of the day that are attractive. Like those attributes of God that you reflect are what should be attractive to other people. And most importantly, attractive to the Lord. Like those are the things that pleases him. And you know that if your value comes from him and your sense of self-worth, how is that so hard for me? Your sense of self, word. Thank you. I don't know why that was such a
You wanted to add another S word? Yeah.
word. Yep, that term. If it comes from God, then it's never going to change. So it doesn't matter what crowd you're hanging around. They're not going to judge you or applaud you based on how you're acting. And even if they do, it shouldn't affect you because you know at the end of the day what pleases the Lord. And that's like what you're clothed with in your heart.
We kind of already said this, but maybe it's a weird analogy, but like it's the clothes of your heart that matter way more. Like, are you clothed with strength and dignity, or are you clothed with like jealousy or pride or anger or whatever?
Haughtiness.
Yeah, fill in the blank. Are you clothed with?
Sorry, that was funny to me
What-
because I just like in my head.
H-A-U-G.
Yeah. I like in my head I was like LOL, like if you spelled it like hot, like haughtiness, instead of like pride. I was like, oh, that was a funny joke. Oh man, she got it right away. She like saw it into my brain. Was like,
Play
I
on
was
the
thinking
topics.
about
I-
HOTTIN.
Yeah, because I was like, haughty. Pride. I'm dragging.
But also, if your heart is clothed with strength and dignity of God, then that also should like pour over into what you wear
Yeah.
on your
And-
body. Not as important, but still important.
Yeah. And also, I feel like the things that people. This is difficult because people do notice, obviously, what you wear. And it is a problem, I would say, within the church, like judging other people based on their different convictions,
Both
like you were
ways,
saying
yeah.
earlier.
Both ways.
It happens. So I'm not trying to say that like doesn't happen. In a perfect world, it wouldn't. But here we are. But at the end of the day, like those qualities of strength, dignity, modesty of the heart are like the most attractive qualities, and what people actually remember is like who you are as a person, not necessarily what you wear. And if they are judging you on what you wear, or they're only attracted to you because of what you wear, or value you because you fit in with their group and you look like them and talk like them, that's not a person you need to be around. It's not worth it. The people who really care about you will be attracted to you for those qualities and value you because you reflect the attributes of God.
All right, Tim, this one's for you. What do guys perceive as God-honoring modesty?
This is when that part that you guys talked about with all the guys' perspectives being on my shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that I represent all guys here. If you ladies say that, that's okay. But yeah, I think for me, I think guys want to perceive it the same way as we should in Scripture, like the inward heart. I think when we're younger and immature, we perceive it as like, oh, she must be God honoring because she is beautiful, which that can be the case, but like. We care more about the physical side of a woman or a young girl or whatever when we're teenagers, and then when we grow up, we find out, through talking to people or
Bad experiences.
Just
That you need character too.
bad experiences, whatever, and we realize like, oh, there's way more to this, and there's a deeper meaning in how God designed relationship and marriage than just the outward of a woman. So I think
The outward of a woman.
the
Outward
physical
appearance.
appearance
Outward
of
of
a
a
woman.
woman. That's weird.
We ought to get to the point in our final, if I can say, destination. Like our destination should be that we feel the same way as 1 Samuel, was it 69, or Luke 6:45, where we care more about the heart of whoever we're interested in, or the friends that we hang around. It doesn't have to just be someone that you are seeking a relationship, a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship from. It can be friends that you hang out with. You desire to be around people that inwardly have the character traits that we see in Scripture. And I think Faith and I can speak to this with our grandma. Like our grandma, I feel very strongly, has increasingly become more beautiful as she's gotten older. And I believe that to be because of her relationship with the Lord. And so like that's the same type of thing when I was looking for a partner, or when I was thinking about marrying Ellie. Like I want that same thing for my life partner, for my person in ministry to go with me. And it's something that I think it should be important for all guys when they're thinking about getting married or seeking someone to be in a relationship with or whatever. Even friends too, though.
Okay, I have 2 questions. This is to the general audience because I'm genuinely curious. Do you think modesty standards should come more from women in the church or men in the church? I'm like genuinely curious because I feel like most of the time it's like girls policing girls, which in a sense is good because like it can get it could be creepy. Like if a guy, you know what I mean, that would be appropriate in my opinion. That's just my opinion, but I think generally that's inappropriate. But then I'm like, it also confuses me that women are making standards for modesty
On
that
how
are
they're
supposed to
viewed
be
by men.
helping the dudes out. Like, because that's what we're doing. Like, we're helping a brother out. You get what I'm saying?
We talked about this on when we were working some here
Yeah.
at Team Missions. If you know a married guy is seeing something that like is not correct in that culture or modest in that culture, I should go to Ellie and say that.
Yes. So maybe that's what it should be. Like, guys should give input to other women, and then the women do it together.
I was gonna say like maybe like I don't know how to say this, like a safe, like within a safe relationship where it's like trusted and not creepy, that the man could give his input or his insight to the woman, and then she could take that to the like council of women. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like
Yeah, like
You
as the
know?
representative.
like the husband could tell his wife, like,
Wife, yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
wife, I think that this is.
I think that's the only
modest or
scenario is like
whatever.
husband to the wife, and then the wife brings it to the council of
Yeah.
women.
Or
And
like my dad as well.
Yeah.
Like I remember growing up, my dad
To
would.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, if
or
you trust
even
your
like
dad's
to my
opinion.
mom
Yeah.
and being like, you know, this is the standard we should set for how long her dresser should
Which is
be or
again,
whatever, which could be different
husband
for
to
every.
wife or
Yeah.
husband-
Could be for every
father-in-law.
family.
Like in high school, I remember reading this study where they like polled a bunch of men, and all these guys were saying, I'm laughing. I don't even know why. It's because it's ridiculous.
Modest.
No. They were saying that like a woman taking off a sweatshirt was immodest to them. If they like reached,
Even
if they have a shirt, even
Oh
if
my
the
gosh,
shirt
wait,
doesn't
wait.
show their stomach. I'm
Wait.
like, that is
So they
insane.
Or the way that you do it. So
yes,
like
it
if
was
you
all
go,
like if you tuck an arm and then
it's
take off,
fine.
then it's
But
fine.
if you
Your
cross your
shoulders.
If you
arms,
cross and pull over, then it's
then
immodest.
it gives them a bad
So you need
image in their
to
mind.
turn your back to the group and then take your sweatshirt off. I'm like, this seems like
No.
Get a buddy to hold the
this
shirt down.
seems like
as-
a
okay, the buddy to hold your
personal-
shirt down is valid.
That's valid.
Find
but
a buddy.
sometimes you need
Personal
it.
problem. That seems like a
or
personal
you
problem.
just do it. You do it like slowly at a time. So you like do a little bit before the shirt comes up, and you hold the shirt down
Oh
more.
yeah,
You
so
go
your
again.
shirt
Yeah,
Like,
doesn't
that's
go
what I have
up.
to do.
stages.
I will say, like, if I could definitely see in the sense, okay, this is a lot less attractive and a lot more awkward to go arm versus
Yeah.
if you're like taking off. Like I
the
kind of,
hand movement. Okay, babe.
I can't really move anything else.
To YouTube.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, the point of that was just being like, that kind of feels valid. It depends on what they're doing, like the way that they're doing it. I feel like
Wait, you think it's immodest to take a sweatshirt off?
no, I'm just saying I can see where they're coming from. If
I mean, if you like made it into something like hypersexual, but I'm just saying,
No,
like, just normally take your
I-
sweatshirt off.
You wanna know my theory is?
Yes.
I don't feel like most people take their sweatshirts
I want to
off.
know how many of those men. Maybe this is too much, but I want to know how many of those men routinely watch porn.
Oh, so you think it's more a reflection of the man than yeah?
I think
that's
it has a
probably
reflection
true.
on their
Thematically,
mindset when they
yeah.
view it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because think in your mind, it is the act of taking off clothes. To them, if it's written into their brain as
yeah,
taking off clothes equals blah, 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 like then
yeah.
it'll naturally be a pattern for them to respond in that way. So I think that it has more to do with what the guy's doing
Yeah.
routinely.
Because I don't think it's inappropriate
then.
to take your sweatshirt off.
I'd also be interested to
No.
see which of those guys that got pulled were married versus they weren't married.
I think most of them were not married.
Okay, so that would be the difference too. Because like when you're married, it's like I don't know, you're with a woman living life all the time, and so that's not going to be like
Oh, I see
a
what
crazy
you're saying.
thing. But for a single guy, it's like
That's
they
like
never
gets
see a
out of his
woman getting
house.
under.
Yeah, they never
like,
see a woman ever.
I don't know.
So
I never see a woman ever.
woman
Yeah.
for the first
Sorry,
time.
I didn't mean that rude. I didn't mean that
No,
rude.
no,
I just meant
yeah,
like
I got what
they're
you're
in their
saying.
house doing school. They're yeah.
But
it also would be like really again, this is mutual, so it goes on both sides. But like it would have to be like very purposeful too for the person taking off the sweater if they were making like intense eye contact.
like making
then
it
taking
weird.
it
That's what I'm
off,
saying. People
and
can
then
be,
they're
you
like
can make it
eyebrows
weird.
are
Okay,
smoldering
but they weren't
and
saying like
like
making it
weird.
weird. They're saying like in general
Normal.
blanket. Yeah.
Okay, but I will say though, and I don't know if you disagree or not, but like
Where is this
Me or
video? I
Tim?
need to like
If
where did
you-
you get this
you-
info?
I'll find it.
Okay.
if you have well, or Tim too. I guess we can hear your opinion. If
Sorry, guys.
I
We'll
guess.
give you a microphone to the
If I want to
conversation.
hear you talk again, as I have
no,
your whole life.
I really am so excited to have you here because
Yeah, this has
even
been
though
so
we grew up
fun.
in the same house, like I don't think we really talked about modesty. Obviously, that's like
No.
not a normal thing to talk about with your sibling because it just doesn't really come up. Anyways,
I think we could have if we wanted to, but I
You
don't
didn't want
think
to.
we. Well, I don't know if I didn't want to.
I'm
I
just-
wanna
It
know
just
what
never
Faith's
really
question
came
is.
about.
Yeah, I
I'm
know, I
sorry.
do too.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say like if you know that that's a problem, the way you take off your sweatshirt, if you know that one way is less
Sexual.
sexual than the other way, it doesn't matter if you agree or not. Just don't do it. It's not that hard to go arm. Well, sometimes it is, but put in the extra work to go arm to not make
Do
it
some-
weird. If you know that
Do
people
some
do
arm
that,
stretches so it can be easier. You know.
yeah, get a size up hoodie so
Yeah.
that you can fit both your
Yeah.
arms. But like, do you agree, or do you think like we don't need to cater to that? Because I think you could swing to the other side and be like, "Nah, that's a boy problem."
But then if you apply that to all areas of modesty, then we should all be wearing skirts only. Because like there's a large significant Christian community that says that it's immodest for a woman to wear, pants. So we all need to be wearing a
Wait,
skirt.
really?
So then like if we just keep doing that, you just end up dressed in all they can see is your eyes.
This sweater is so specific though, like the sweater thing.
It's such an
because
easy
like
fix.
it's a natural thing to do in life.
That's what I think is a
if you're in
natural
the
thing.
airport and you had a hoodie on originally, you
Mm-hmm.
are now you walked a little bit or maybe you ran to your
Now it's
date,
warm.
whatever it was. But now you're warm. It's like okay, the natural thing to do is I'm gonna take off my sweater and I'm not really gonna think about to that. I don't know
Yeah.
whoever it is over there that this is gonna
Yeah.
be.
Who's watching you take off your sweatshirt?
Yeah, that's weird.
Creeper.
So I
They're
think
already kind of
for
weird.
this
Yeah.
one, for this one, I would say it's like 85% on the guy and 15% on the girl. If I'm allowed to say, if I'm allowed to say
if
that.
she makes it weird, I'm not
Right.
I'm not condoning
And that's
making
why
it
I give her
weird.
like 15%.
Don't make it weird.
Don't
Yeah.
make it weird.
I
Yeah.
feel like you'd have to work so hard to make it weird because it's such.
I know. Anyway, sorry. We've been talking about this for like
So
10 minutes, so
interesting.
we can move on.
All right.
We're going to have a dinner about this and talk about it more later.
Literally, we
No,
probably
literally.
will.
That was a bonus question, so now I'm going to read the actual question that I
Oh,
had
man.
for me. What do you think girls misunderstand about how Christian guys view the topic of modesty?
I mean, I don't know. It is tricky because it's coming from the opposite sex. And normally when you're talking about modesty, you're talking about ladies, like you're talking about girls.
Don't worry, it's a safe place.
Right. Just
Feel-
everyone
feel
else
safe.
listening. And yeah.
Everyone in the comments is nice always.
if and this is something that I've definitely learned in marriage, and I've only been married like 8 months, but like
Can't wait.
we don't
What is it?
Ellie
What'd
and
you
I don't
learn?
Ellie and I don't think the same, and we
No.
don't see the
What
whole
a good lesson to learn.
we don't see
Come
the whole
on.
picture in its entirety. We meaning guys. We don't always see the full picture right away. Like we need help, and so with modesty, I don't know, misunderstandings can come from, and this is what I think guys.
Girls misunderstand.
Girls misunderstand
About
about
how
how
This is
guys.
this is like Faith's tongue twister thing that she had with the
Yeah.
self-worth
Yeah.
thing, and then Ellie said that, and now
Sorry.
you guys are all understanding the question.
It's what do girls misunderstand about how guys view the topic of modesty? So where is there misunderstanding between guys' perception of modesty and girls' understanding of their perception?
Okay, I think it's probably that for a guy that is a believer, so that dwindles it down. I don't know if I can necessarily speak for the other guys that are not believers, because when I was growing up, like I got saved when I was young, and then I was in a Christian family, and
Yeah.
so I was surrounded by believers for the majority of my life, and I think I can say confidently I was walking with the Lord most of my life. So for the Christian guy, I think a misunderstanding between the Christian guy and like the girls is that there can be a struggle with lust for the Christian guy that the girl is sometimes not thinking about. And on the other side, then it makes it for the guy hard to go on and live life. Like, and I talked about this on that earlier episode. Like, I just didn't enjoy the beach growing up because I struggled with lust when I was younger. And, the beach was not enjoyable for me. One of those reasons was because it was just an immodest place. Like, girls practically wearing nothing, and it's
There's
just
not
like,
a lot of clothes there.
right. So for a young guy that's struggling with lust or pornography or whatever it is, like it just wasn't the place to be.
Yeah.
And it wasn't helpful. But then I think the church can cater to that young Christian guy struggling and be like, well, it was the girl's fault for dressing like that or whatever. And it's like, well, maybe the girl just didn't have knowledge of, that, and she wasn't thinking about it.
Or she's not a Christian.
Yeah,
It's
or
like,
she's
oh,
not
look
a
at that.
Christian.
Unchristian
She's
people
not a
acting like
believer.
not
Or she's
Christians.
not a Christian.
Yeah.
Or she's
She
not a
doesn't have
Christian.
that conviction.
Why are we judging them? For,
Wow, sinners
Yeah.
being sinners.
Right.
That's so crazy.
Right.
Yeah, it's what they do. Like
Yeah.
we have a sin nature. It's natural to us
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Because whether someone dresses modestly or immodestly doesn't shift the responsibility of men to be holy.
Absolutely. And I wanted to say that too. Like, we shouldn't say that it's the lady's fault for the guy lusting.
Yeah.
I, as a man, all the other men out there, young teenage guys, whoever it is, we are responsible for our own actions and our own thoughts, our own words. And so it takes a mutual effort from both sides to make sure that there's purity, both in our heart and, making sure that we're taking all those things to the Lord, and also making sure that we make an effort on the outside too, to make sure that we're living modestly. And,
Modesty becomes a lot more attractive to you, I think, as a girl when you realize like you're doing it to help the guys out, not that like it's your responsibility to keep them pure. Like that doesn't even make sense. Like you can't even do that. Because like even look at like Islamic cultures. Like those girls are covered head to toe, and I
Right.
promise you,
You
there are
only
still
see their
men
eyes.
who are lusting after them. You know what I mean? It's like because they're not guarding their heart, they don't have Christ living inside of them, and so
and that's great evidence or great example of it not being mutual. Like there's gotta be some drive from that guy that I want to be pure and I want to honor the Lord in this. And I understand, I understand that as a Christian guy, like my eyes need to be set on the Lord and not on these physical attributes of a woman or anything else. So,
And I think I know this is not necessarily related to the topic, but like I think girls struggle with lust too, but in a different way. Like for girls, that's not a visual thing, so I think that's maybe why they don't normally think that that's an issue for guys. Like for girls, it's more of an emotional attachment that they can, I think, lead to lust. Where like for guys, for you, it's more visual, physical, and so for girls, they're like they just don't see it the same way, so they don't realize that it's an issue unless it's been like pointed out to them, I think.
well, that's the same. It's kind of goes back to the same thing. Like in those moments, a guy needs to be counseling a guy about that. And the same thing we were talking about earlier with a lady that's in authority, and that has lived, experienced life more, needs to go up to that lady and just say, hey, like, you're not maybe thinking of this side of it. And so let me tell you that side so you're aware. And I don't think the young girls listening now, like, or whoever is listening to this now, I don't think you should be, if you're the young lady, I don't think you should feel like guilted or guilty by like what I said about not knowing that like guys struggle with pornography. Like if that wasn't in your head before, like I don't want you to feel guilty or convicted about it now, but just something to think about for the future. And also don't feel like it's just your fault.
no.
Because I think that's a common thing that the church will feed to our youth group, or to the congregation, that it's all on the lady. No, it's a responsibility of the guy too. And so we just need to be careful.
Like it's a weapon that the devil loves to use. Like
Yeah.
the devil, I think, knows that that's an easy temptation that young men deal with, and so I think that's
It's a schism creator.
Yeah.
It creates division
Yeah.
Okay,
Between
then.
the genders
All right,
too.
a schism
There's so
creator.
much arguing about that. Like the girls
Yeah.
get so like frustrated. Like the guys are just trying to tell us what to do. And
right.
sometimes, not you. I don't think we talked about this when you were in high school, so I don't remember. But like some of the guys can get like really self-righteous and be like, well, like the girls need to be dressing better. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, like it all gets really like.
We are responsible. We are responsible for our second glance. As guys, like my dad often told me that you're not responsible for your first glance, because like you're just living life. So sometimes your first glance is like you're out in the public, innocent, and it's just like, oh my goodness. But what you do with your second glance is what's important. And so it can be incidental the first time, but if you turn to look again, that's on you, and that's something that you need to get right with the Lord.
Which is so good because your dad was teaching you responsibility. Like you're responsible.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're responsible for turning your head again.
And I also think that goes with what you were saying too, Ellie. Even if women maybe, because I would say women struggle with lust as well, but like, even if the way that I don't know how to say that. Even if it looks different for women, I think a lot of times maybe it can be in our thoughts, like whether it's actually physically there in front of you or it's something like you just take your thoughts too far a direction they weren't supposed to go. Like you're responsible for your train of thought and where you take things to.
Yeah.
And just because it's not right in front of your eyes or it's not a tangible thing, that doesn't make it any less lustful or any less sinful.
Yeah.
What you do with your thoughts and continually allowing that to be in your brain and like dwelling on that is just as much sin as a second glance, you know?
You're responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked about it in a different episode, like intrusive thoughts. Like sometimes, I mean, we're human beings, so sometimes you think something that you're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
did
I'm
that
so sorry.
come from?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't mean it. But if you like dwell on that and you keep going back to that and building on it, that's where, you know, like, nope, I'm responsible. I can't blame that just on like having a sin nature. It's gonna happen. Like you allowed yourself to go that direction.
Yeah.
So I think girls need to guard themselves in that area as well.
We kind of talked about that too in our complaining episode where we talk about like what you dwell on, like where your heart naturally goes, like that kind of is evidence. But yeah, you have control over your thoughts, and even in the Bible it says take every thought captive. Like
And I think a lot of that comes down to like the discussions you have with especially the opposite gender as women. Like if that's something you're struggling with, like there are conversations that are immodest in the same way an immodestly dressed woman is. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Like these, like you guys don't even talk about it. Like with the opposite gender. Like just you know what I'm saying? And so I just think those are the areas where like it's so easy to neglect. Like, oh, like I dress modestly, but are you being modest with what you're discussing, what you're listening to? Because that is all pouring into that whatever temptation that is.
Yeah. I think women have a tendency, and I'm putting myself in that category as well, but to be really hypocritical and be like, oh, I can't believe that a man would objectify a woman like that. I can't believe that we would. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And then it's like we're all on the beach watching the lifeguards go by with all their shirts off, and it's like, oh, the things that some people will say. It's like, so what? If they were saying that about a woman, they would be in prison.
Yeah, no.
They would be in jail.
No, it's true. It's the same thing with like if there's actually one of my like biggest pet peeves is that like if Christian men talked about like actresses, like certain actresses, the way Christian women talk about certain actors.
Dude, yeah.
Literally straight to jail. Straight to Christian jail. Like the Christian girls would be like, "Oh my gosh.
Celebrity crushes
Did you hear
of-
that
yeah.
objectified and came blah, 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 blah." And then they're like, yeah, no. That's like one of my pet peeves. I'm like, look, if it would come out of a guy's mouth, it'd be like sexual objectification. If it comes out of your mouth, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's not any different between
No, it's not.
men and women. Yeah. How do we respond when modesty is taught in a way that feels more like judgment than love? So I guess the example would be like if someone comes to you to correct you for the way that you're dressing, or
Oh, and they were like judgy McJudgy.
they're
Yeah.
like,
and it's like, hey, I,
I
think
don't
that
think that
skirt was
was-
actually a little too short to be wearing in church or whatever. What's the proper way to respond? I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure that's ever really happened to me before. I've heard stories of that happening to people, especially within the church. I don't know
I
that
can
someone's come to my
speak to
face.
that
Ellie's
used to
like-
happen to me from my grandma. I love her,
Aw.
but she was I think it came out of a genuinely good heart and a desire to uplift and to like, build me into a better woman of God. But there were definitely moments where it like hurt my feelings. And so I think the way that I responded at the time was poor. Because not good. So I was a teenager and I was rebellious and whatever. And my mom also gave me some of those corrections, not as strongly as my grandma, but basically the negative and the bad way that I responded at the time was to rebel and to say, no, I don't care what you think. Or actually, like, maybe I care a little too much, so I'm going to swing around the other way and dress more immodestly to make you more mad because I don't like what you said. And so I know now that that was wrong, but that was my, like, instinctual, sinful reaction was like, oh, you don't like the way that I'm dressing? Well, I'm going to dress even worse because I know it'll make you angry. And, like, I didn't really care. Like, I wasn't trying to get attention from guys or whatever. I just wanted to make
You're just
her
being
more upset.
antagonistic, yeah.
Yeah. I was just instigating. And so I would say, don't do that.
I feel like if it comes from inside your church, like that would be like, and in this case, we're talking about a way that's like judgmental, like shaming kind of. That would be tough. I've seen it happen. I'm not sure if I probably have experienced it. I feel like talk to your parents. Like if it's coming from your church, like someone in your church, I'd say the first line of attack would be probably to talk to your parents and be like, "Am I out of line here?" Because it's really easy. Like you know who's gonna tell you you're fine wearing it and who's gonna say you shouldn't wear it. Like I feel like most of the
Yeah.
girls have like a kind of like a pulse on like everyone else's conviction, so it's really easy to go to the people that's like, you're like, I know
Yeah, it's
they're
totally fine to wear.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's tough.
Can I say this? This is a struggle, okay? Girls have different body shapes, and so something that would be modest for one girl is
Yeah.
immodest for another.
I
And I
agree.
think you have to be aware of that because
Yeah.
you might have a friend who, for them wearing that outfit, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But like, okay, for example, I'm a lot shorter than Faith, so I could wear a dress that's like, you know, a little shorter than what would
Yeah.
be modest on her. But she would wear the same dress, and for her, it'd be way
It would
too
look
short,
super short.
and it
Yeah.
would be like, whoa, you can't wear that.
No, that's
but on
totally
me,
valid.
it was fine.
Which is
Yeah.
why, like, that's why, like, sometimes in some ways, like, the really, like, arbitrary modesty rules are kind of ridiculous because you're like,
They don't. It's not
Put
a
them-
one size fits all.
yeah, like, everybody looks so different.
yeah.
That's like, we've talked about that before.
Oh yeah, and one size fits all for every guy. I mean, like if you were in that range of large shirt, extra large shirt, small, whatever. Like if you're that body shape or type, like that guy's shirt will fit you. Does that make sense? I'm not saying.
No, I'm not understanding. You lost us.
So what you're,
Ellie, are you tracking? You're married
I
to
think
him.
what he's trying to say is that for guys, if the shirt says it's a size medium, it's a size medium.
I get what you're saying.
like,
But
and
for a
it'll
girl-
fit. It'll fit you.
Yeah.
If you had a medium size shirt for a guy and you normally wear medium size shirts, it
Medium
is
is
90.
medium.
It's 95% of the time
I
that
see.
fits you. For you ladies, you guys have a whole nother
all
journey to go
different.
on.
No,
you guys
yeah.
got to go try it on in Goodwill. If you're thrifting, I don't know.
But we can't
You
because they close their.
can't.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let's
this is
talk
going
about
back to
that.
complaining.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
We repent.
They don't have dressing rooms, so you go to Goodwill and you
Yeah.
put on a shirt that you can try another shirt on over and whatever.
I didn't know that
Ultimately,
was a
search
thing.
your heart. That's what I say.
Amen.
Yeah.
And then reject judgment because you have no condemnation. In Christ, there is no condemnation. So
Yeah.
if they're layering on like shame and they're not doing it in a godly way, like take it to the Lord, check your heart, make sure whatever else, and then
Just dust off your
Go on
feet
your
and
merry
move
way.
on.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I think
Your daughter-
one of the things like
King.
you don't need to act and retaliate. Like you don't need to
Mm-mm,
clap back
no.
at them and be
Don't
like,
do what I
my
did."
mom said I was allowed to wear it, and my dad gave me permission to blah blah blah. Just be like, sorry, you know, if I offended you or whatever, that wasn't my intention at all. Like, I don't know if you can thank them for their willingness to share.
Yeah.
If you don't actually feel that way, don't do that.
Maybe don't.
But if it's like, you know what, I appreciate that we're at least close enough that you feel like you can talk to me about those things.
You try to think the best of the
really good
situation.
answer.
Yeah.
Dang.
You wish you said that to your grandma?
Nuts.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I do wish I said that to my grandma. I was probably really disrespectful to her.
I mean, I'm not saying that I would have been all diplomatic if that happened to me. I probably would have been the same way, but I would hope that maybe maybe we can respond with grace and what's the better word?
Patience,
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, respond in grace
Respect.
and love, and even if they're not showing you that same respect, to like Tim was saying, give them the benefit of the doubt and hope that it was for your own good and not just
Turn the
To
other
tear you
cheek,
down.
as
they're,
Jesus would
they're,
say.
they're ultimately responsible for the intent of why they approached you.
Mm-hmm.
And so and that's not just with modesty or anything. Like it needs to be with everything else. But think of the best of if someone's confronting you with whatever topic it is, that
Yeah.
they're doing it in the best intention, and you know, Lord willing, God will give you the amount of slow to speak that you need for that moment,
Yeah. That's
and
fair.
just to hear it and just be like, I receive everything. I'm gonna get rid of some stuff because I don't feel like that's what the Lord's telling me right now. But I hear you.
And also, like, take it as an opportunity, even if, because most likely if that happens, your immediate reaction is going to be to defend yourself, because that's how it goes. But you can also take that as a moment to be like, okay, Lord, like, search my heart, search my intention. Is this actually something that I should be convicted about and I'm not? Is this something, you know, obviously someone noticed it, obviously tripped someone up, even if it was just like some old lady in your church that didn't think you were living right.
It might be a
Even
sign
if
if
it's
multiple
that.
people come up to you that it actually is an issue and you need to like
Yeah.
relook at
But
that.
Yeah.
take it as a learning opportunity to say, okay, Lord, like, I want to be willing to change. If this is actually an area that I need to grow in, show me the areas where I need to grow.
How can both guys and girls encourage one another toward a heart of modesty, not only in how we dress, but also how we speak, act, and live?
All of us. Wow. That's good.
Probably just following the scriptures that we've spoken about and like encouraging one another, building one another up, like, you know, you don't have to go to your Christian brothers and sisters and say like, let's all be modest together, like, but just encourage one another to like continue your walk in the faith. And yeah, I would just say just encourage each other in your Christian walk, and I think naturally your modest life will flow from that. Like if you're washing the inside of the cup, then naturally like everything else will stem from that. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added. Like,
Yeah. I think like also like if this is areas that you're struggling in, I think one of the ways that like you can be really immodest, especially as like young Christians, because you want to do what's right, is like you need to have like accountability partners who are of the same gender. It's not appropriate. It's just not modest. That's the only way to word it. Like
Yeah.
if this is the areas that you're struggling with and you find out like a Christian brother is too, you're like, oh dang, like we can just keep each other accountable.
If
It's
you are
like that's
single, if you're basically not married, so if you're either single and not dating, or if you're dating, or if you're engaged, you need to be seeking out same gender accountability / counseling / discipling, because for these areas, because the only opposite sex person that it would be appropriate with is with your spouse.
Yep.
And so for a guy, that would be your wife, and that's the only way that it's appropriate. And so until you get to that point and God has blessed you with that partner, then you need to be going to the same, because those guys understand what you're going through, and they've been there and they've gotten to the other side with the Lord's help. And so they know deep down what it will take, and ultimately that just giving it up. But
so that's what I would say. I think that's like just your conversation. I think a lot of times in high school also like people are curious, and so then I don't know, it's just really easy to have discussions that aren't beneficial. They're not modest.
Thank you for tuning in to Holy Devoted and watching this episode. You can click subscribe on YouTube, or you can follow us on Instagram or TikTok, and just catch us next time as we talk about whatever. Is that good?
Yeah.
Do you know the Instagram handle? Bonus points.
I'm going to say @holy.devoted.podcast.
Yeah.
Yes,
Woo, he knows it.
Alrighty.
Thanks for tuning in.
It's a wrap.